the ruins of Troy still whisper. Beneath centuries of dust and stone, a woman's footsteps echo against the forgotten walls. Her name is not shouted across history like Helen's, nor is it sung in victorious hymns like Achilles. Yet her story is carved deeper into the soul of endurance itself. Welcome back to Myth Motivation. Her name is Andromache. Not the face that launched 1,000 ships, but the heart that bore 1,000 sorrows and still refused to break. Today, we journey back through the smoke of ancient war to meet a queen whose strength eclipses the legends we think we know. A woman whose love, resilience, and unyielding courage shine brighter than any mythic beauty. This is not the story of the fall of Troy. This is the story of the woman who refused to fall with it. Before Troy burned, it was a city of golden walls and hopeful hearts. It was a place where commerce and culture flourished under the benevolent rule of Priam. It was a jewel of the ancient world, nestled against the shimmering waters of the Aegean, bathed in sunlight and rich with promise. Andromache was born far from its gates, in the kingdom of Cilician Thebe. She was a princess, the daughter of King Eetion, raised amidst rugged mountains and fertile valleys. Her world was one of traditions, honor, and a deep reverence for family bonds. From her earliest days, Andromache was steeped in the knowledge that life could be harsh, that kingdoms rose and fell like the tides. Her father taught her the importance of wisdom, strength, and compassion, qualities not always valued in a world so often ruled by ambition and bloodshed. Her mother taught her tenderness and the art of perseverance, weaving resilience into her very soul. It was in this crucible of early life that Andromache's character was forged. A steel wrapped in velvet, a woman destined to weather storms that would crush lesser spirits. Thebe was a peaceful land, but peace is a fragile thing. War, like a sleeping beast, lurks always at the edge of civilization, and the Greeks, in their endless hunger for conquest, would not let Thebe rest for long. When Andromache came of age, she was wed to Hector, the crown prince of Troy. Hector, the shield of his city, the beloved son of Priam and Hecuba. He was a man both fierce in battle and gentle in heart. Their union was not merely political. It was a meeting of kindred spirits, a love both rare and profound. Troy welcomed Andromache with open arms. Within its mighty walls, she found a second home, and in Hector, a partner who cherished her as an equal. They shared dreams of a future not marred by war, raising their son, Astyanax, in a city that would one day be his to protect. Troy's streets bustled with life, its markets rich with the scents of spices and the colors of distant lands. Priests offered sacrifices to the gods. Poets sang songs of love and valor. Yet peace, as always in mortal affairs, proved fragile. The abduction of Helen, or her willing flight, sparked a war that would consume them all. The Greeks, brimming with rage and armed to the teeth, sailed across the wine-dark sea to lay siege to Troy. And with them came Achilles. Achilles, the demigod son of Thetis, a warrior whose prowess was unmatched. His name alone struck terror into the hearts of even the bravest soldiers. Andromache knew of him. Everyone did. But she could not have foreseen how intimately her fate would intertwine with his. It was Achilles who brought ruin to Thebe, her childhood home. He slaughtered her father, Eetion, and her 7 brothers without mercy. He desecrated the graves of her kin, burning and pillaging the land that had nurtured her. Her mother, taken captive, died of heartbreak soon after. Thus, even before the walls of Troy trembled beneath Greek assault, Andromache knew the pain of devastation. Her past had been torn from her, leaving her with only Hector, only Troy, as her last bastions of hope. The Iliad captures a haunting glimpse of her sorrow, a scene where Andromache meets Hector atop the Scaean gate. There she pleads with him, begs him to stay, to choose life over honor. You are my father now, and my mother and my brother. You are my husband, my very life. Her words, raw and desperate, are the voice of every soul who has ever loved and lost to the madness of war. But Hector, bound by a code older than love itself, returns to the battlefield. He meets Achilles. He falls. Andromache, watching from the walls, witnesses his death with a cry so piercing that even the gods must have turned their faces away. Troy's fate is sealed with Hector's fall. The city burns, and with it the last remnants of her dreams. Yet even as she weeps, Andromache refuses to break. The Greeks, vengeful and merciless, exact their final cruelty. Astyanax, her beloved son, is ripped from her arms and hurled from the high walls, dashed against the stones below. They fear the blood of Hector will one day seek vengeance. They fear a boy. And so they commit a crime so monstrous that the very earth should have swallowed them whole. Andromache, shackled and heartbroken, is taken as a prize of war. Her new master is Neoptolemus, the son of Achilles himself. Imagine the depth of that irony, to be bound to the offspring of the man who had destroyed her world. Yet still, she endures. In Neoptolemus's household, she bears a son, Molossus. Through him, her bloodline will endure, eventually giving rise to the kings of Epirus and even influencing the lineage of Alexander the Great. From the wreckage of her past, she builds a foundation for the future. Her survival was not one of mere existence, but of defiant living. In a foreign land, among a foreign people, Andromache did not forget who she was. She carried Troy within her, its memory burning quietly in her heart. A secret fire that could not be extinguished. Time passed, and Neoptolemus fell, betrayed and killed. Some say he was slain at Delphi, a victim of divine retribution. Others whisper of political machinations and jealous rivals. Whatever the cause, his death freed Andromache from her bonds. She married Helenus, Hector's brother, a man of wisdom and foresight, gifted in the arts of prophecy. Together they ruled a new kingdom in Epirus, far from the smoking ruins of Troy, but forever bound by the blood and memories of their fallen city. Here, at last, Andromache found a measure of peace. Not the blissful peace of innocence, but the hard-won peace of survivors. She raised her children, counseled her people, and ruled with a quiet strength forged from all the pain she had endured. She became a queen again, not crowned with gold and garlands, but with the iron crown of endurance. Andromache lived long enough to see her descendants flourish. Her blood, tempered by tragedy and resilience, flowed into the future, shaping generations to come. Long after the bards ceased to sing of Troy, long after the names of its kings and warriors faded into dust, the spirit of Andromache endured. For hers is the spirit that rises from ashes. Hers is the legacy that grief could not silence. Hers is the name whispered not by the winds of glory, but by the steady, relentless breath of survival. The dust of Troy has long since settled. Its golden walls lie broken, its proud banners long since rotted to threads. The songs of its heroes echo faintly, carried only by the shifting winds of memory. But Andromache's spirit walks among us still. She walks in every soul that has faced ruin and chosen to build again. She breathes in the hearts of those who have lost everything, yet still rise to face another dawn. In a world where destruction often seems more certain than creation, where loss outpaces gain and sorrow outstrips joy, Andromache reminds us of something rare and precious: the endurance of hope, the endurance of the heart. Her life was not marked by grand victories or soaring triumphs. She did not conquer nations. She did not slay monsters. She did not ascend to Olympus. She simply survived. She chose again and again to live, to love, to rebuild. And in that choice, repeated day after day, year after year, she achieved something greater than any fleeting glory. She became eternal. Her story is not one of perfection, but of perseverance. Not of conquest, but of quiet courage. Not of invulnerability, but of indestructible hope. Andromache teaches us that though we may be battered by life, we need not be defeated by it. We can endure. We can rise. We can live again. Because like her, We carry within us the sacred fire that no ruin can extinguish. The fire of survival, the fire of resilience, the fire of a heart that refuses to break. So now, the question turns to you. When your walls fall, when your dreams are dashed against the stones, when everything you built turns to dust, what will you do? Will you lie among the ruins? Or will you rise carrying the sacred fire of your spirit into the future? Andromache did not choose her fate. None of us do. But she chose her response. She chose to endure, to rebuild, to pass on a legacy that could not be extinguished by sorrow or destruction. You have that same choice. You can honor your pain without being crushed by it. You can carry your memories without letting them chain you. You can build a future from the ruins of your past. The world may never sing your name in hymns. The poets may never weave your deeds into legend. But that does not diminish your triumph. The triumph of living. The triumph of loving again. The triumph of refusing to surrender your spirit to the darkness. Like Andromache, you can be a quiet, indomitable flame. A flame that lights the way for others. A flame that survives the storm. A flame that endures. Rise from your ashes. Carry your fire forward. And let your story be one of unbreakable strength, written not in the fleeting sands of fame, but in the eternal stone of the human soul. You are stronger than the ruins. You are greater than the grief. You are the heir to Andromache's legacy. Endure, rebuild, become eternal. If Andromache's story moved you, subscribe and join us for more legendary journeys. Don't miss out on the next epic tale that will ignite your spirit and strengthen your resolve. See you in the next video.